Have you ever felt like you were just crushing it in life? Everything's flowing, you're making great progress, and then you hit a wall out of nowhere. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into a really powerful teaching from Pastor Francis Chan. He talks about this invisible barrier that can stop us dead in our tracks. He calls it the wall of pride, and we're going to break down what it is and, more importantly, how we can get past it.
So it all kicks off with this simple but honestly brilliant illustration.
I want you to picture a fish. It's swimming freely in what Francis Chan calls the grace of God. Everything feels right, it's just gliding along, picking up speed, and then bam! It smacks right into an invisible wall. The flow is just gone. All that progress comes to a screeching halt.
And that, right there, leads to the most important question of all. What is this invisible wall that can just show up and stop us when everything seems to be going so well?
Well, according to this teaching, the answer is incredibly simple, but also really profound. That invisible wall, it's pride. It is the one thing that can stop the flow of God's grace in our lives.
Now hold on, because this isn't just about being a little arrogant or overly confident. The way the Bible defines pride, like right here in James chapter 4, is way more serious. It's a state of being where you actually put yourself in direct opposition to God. And on the flip side, humility is the very thing that attracts His grace.
Okay, so let's break this down. Look at the contrast here. Pride leads to God's opposition because it's all about me, myself, and I. It's about self-reliance, that burning need to win at all costs. But humility, that opens the door to God's grace because it starts with saying, hey, I need help, and choosing to rely on Him instead of just ourselves.
And Chan makes this so relatable with his own confession right here. I mean, think about it. Whether it's playing a sport, a board game, or even just in an argument, that deep down desire to be right, to win, that's pride showing up. So the real question we have to ask ourselves is, what do I want more? The temporary victory for my ego or the constant flow of God's grace in my life?
And this isn't just some modern-day problem. This is a cautionary tale that we see play out all through history, where success itself can actually become the biggest threat. Let's look at a classic example.
Let's talk about King Uzziah from the Old Testament. I mean, by all accounts, this guy was a great king. He reigned for 52 years. Under his leadership, the kingdom was safe, it was prosperous, things were going really, really well. But here's where we see that tragic pattern start to form. Look at these steps. Step 1, the Bible says he was marvelously helped by God. All that divine help led to step 2, he became strong. But then that strength led to step 3, he grew proud. And that pride, well, it led directly to the final step, his own destruction.
And listen, Uzziah isn't some special case. This is a theme that just keeps popping up with so many leaders back then. They start out humble, they rely on God, they experience incredible success, but as soon as that success makes them feel powerful and self-sufficient, pride just creeps in. And that's usually the beginning of the end.
So this brings the whole conversation right back to us, doesn't it? Because if these great, powerful kings could fall into this trap, how on earth are we supposed to avoid it? The real challenge is that pride is ridiculously hard to see in ourselves.
This quote gets right to the heart of why pride is so incredibly dangerous. You see, there's a huge difference between being tempted and being deceived. We usually know when we're tempted, right? We feel that pull. But when we're deceived, we have no idea. We think we're right. That's literally the definition of a blind spot.
So this is the really hard question we have to ask ourselves. That argument you're so sure you're winning, that opinion you hold on to so tightly, could you actually be wrong? Could pride be deceiving you right this very moment?
And since we can't see our own deception, our only way out is through humility. It has to start with us turning to God and genuinely, honestly asking, show me my blind spots. Please, show me where I'm deceived.
Okay, so if pride is the wall and humility is the key that unlocks the door, where do we go from there? Well, thankfully, the Bible gives us a really powerful and encouraging answer.
A lot of us probably think of God's throne as this place of just immense power, judgment, and holiness. And it is all of those things, but the book of Hebrews gives it another name, a specific name, and it might just surprise you.
It's called a throne of grace. I mean, just think about that for a second. The very center of all power in the universe, the command center of the Creator, is fundamentally defined by grace. It's His main thing. And what's just incredible is that we're invited to come right up to this throne with confidence. And not because we're perfect. No, it's for the exact opposite reason. It's the one place we can go to get mercy for our failures and to find the grace, that divine help we so desperately need when we're struggling.
And that leaves us with this one last thought to chew on. We spend so much of our lives trying to prove ourselves, trying to be strong, trying to win. But what if we're playing the wrong game entirely? What if the key to breaking through that wall of pride and living in that flow of grace isn't about earning it, but just having the humility to ask for it?